the only badass novel bitches around. So.
Oh, there we go.
I'm good to go.
Then, when the music is broken off,
Yeah, you're supposed to there you go.
I'm so excited for this! Flower bookmarks. These are so pretty.
we all got different designs. Mine is bamboo with
That was an exciting
adventure.
Hi, thank you so much. We have Erica Bauermeister, who is guest author Kayla tonight. We need a lot of tan with us tonight, you guys. All Jess Lowry, right here with us tonight. Welcome, Asha. We're so excited. Guest author Hannah Wickens. We're so glad to have you back.
Thank you. This is one of my favorite book clubs in the universe, and I'm just so grateful to be with y'all.
Tonight we have guest author Gretchen Burke. Hello, hello, bitches.
Hello.
Hey.
We've got Anna back this week, and Teen back this week, and Jessica is with us. She's got an extra S down in there, and I'm dying. I love it. Who else do we have with us this week? We have a little guest with Jessica.
Oh.
And she finally named this little character.
Her name would be Shay.
Shay.
Shay. Oh, I love it.
Super cute. It's a cute name. I like it. Did you pick it from something?
It's Celtic. It's gender neutral.
Sounds
All right.
good. Since you're still unsure about.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, little baby teen. Little beauty, what are you doing? She's like, don't acknowledge me. I just want to sit here and like hang.
She just wants to wave at her own
Yeah. Yeah, they usually do. They just want to like pop in and see themselves here, and then they carry on about their day. So, Anna, how'd your games go last week? You guys went too far, right?
They made it into the semifinals. Yeah.
Nice.
And now he's got a ton of tryouts and pickup tournaments for some other teams. So, yeah.
Wow. Good
Tryouts for what teams?
Huh?
What teams?
We're trying to get him onto some AAA teams now with teams that have goals to get into Cooperstown for next year. So that's like the huge World Series that's televised in Pennsylvania. So it's more competitive. Yeah. And so we'll see how it goes. He did a little pickup tournament today where they played 2 games, and the coach said that him and his 3 other buddies that went were like hands down just more developed than the other boys, which was really good. And he pitched and he caught and he played outfield, and it was cool. So yeah, we had a good time.
That's really good.
I gotta share. Hold on. Because I took a bunch of photos, but 2 photos came back and with him looking like a real motto. So I got to show you guys my handsome baby. Let me show you what Makuter made.
Oh my God.
Oh.
He is such a little handsome thing.
Okay. That was one. And then you should have seen how the parents were having me take pictures of their kids after. I was dying.
After they saw you doing the book, and
Yes.
they wanted to do the same thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm like, what sports catalog are you modeling for, kiddo?
For real.
Yeah.
He's
looks
probably modeling.
just like
Yeah, he does.
Yes,
think
he
so?
does.
Here's my baby.
He does look so much like her, but it's so he looks like Sean too. Like Sean has more baby face. Steve Presley has it too. They both have a baby face. And they get that from Sean because Anna doesn't have a baby face. But
Well, I did when I was fat. Fatter.
You look good, by the way. You're losing.
Down 35 pounds.
In the neck. Damn. Look at you.
I
Your face looks
see my
different.
neck now. Yeah.
Your face looks different.
It was always there. It was just hidden by fluff.
Okay. We could have called you neck hole for a minute, right?
I was
No,
like,
not
chicken.
anymore.
Yeah.
No. That is exciting. So that sounds good. Anybody else have anything go on this week? I did not, so I'm not even going to pretend.
Yeah, we had a reunion for our unit.
Very
Oh,
fun.
that's cool.
Employment
Nice.
reunion.
Yeah. How'd
How did
that
that
go?
go?
It went good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we got tired of meeting everybody at funerals.
You think?
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
time to finally get together when someone's not dead. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yes.
What about you, Teen? How was your trip?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I didn't join y'all last week because I had literally just flown in from North Dakota.
Indeed. How was that?
Which,
How was it?
was fucking majestic, really. Like, I have never seen anywhere like it. And the whole time we're riding around, all I could do is that Dixie Chick song in my head. I was like, wide open spaces.
Oh my God.
It really is quite wide open. I've never
All on
experienced it, but
Did you go to that Viking museum thing?
We drove past it, but okay, there were so many mosquitoes, and y'all, the mosquitoes are like the size of murder hornets. Like,
Oh no.
they're gigantic. Like, they were
No
attaching themselves to the car,
No.
and I've never seen anything like that. I was like, I
No.
will not be exiting the vehicle, and I'm going to ask that nobody else exit the vehicle because
wow.
well, if I'm trapped in here with them, that's not any better. Yeah, but so we didn't get out, but we drove by it, and it was really wild looking.
Wow.
Their downtown is very small, like 5 square blocks, but super cute and well maintained. Like, really cute shops. Really, like, somebody's really taking care of it. Like, art murals everywhere, and
Aww. I love little towns like that.
To visit.
To visit, yeah.
To visit. Because once
I
you
don't
go
mind
once or
living in
twice.
them either.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was like 40 minutes from the Canadian border.
Oh wow.
So it's really way up there. But absolutely gorgeous place.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
She got strep throat while I was gone, so I came home with
Oh
that.
no, that's the worst. Strep stinks.
Yeah.
Did you get to eat a lot of ice cream?
She's still eating ice cream because she hates amoxicillin, and I have to mix it with ice cream to get her to ingest it.
Well, whatever works. You know, that's funny. I don't know why I didn't think to do that before. Bella's like that. She doesn't like medicine.
So. Oh my god, this one.
I like the bubble gum medicine.
Ooh, that one's my favorite.
The bubblegum medicine, which I loved as a kid.
I love the
like
bubble
best
gum.
medicine.
Hmm.
And she's like, no, you need to go lay down. I love you. Thank you.
Wait, Mom.
It's not. She's looking at the thermos we got in the thing, and she's like, what is that?
Ooh, she's like, hello, when are we going on our picnic?
She's like, I thought I already stole that. Why is it in here?
Yeah. So were the bugs worse than in the South?
Where they were, yes, but they weren't everywhere like they are in the South. I mean, in the South, you can walk everywhere and get attacked by mosquitoes, but they're tiny, and they're everywhere. And these were just like localized to places of large bodies of standing water.
Oh.
So it wasn't in people's backyards.
Right.
They weren't all over the place, but where they were, there were thousands of them, and they were huge. I was like, nothing.
Awesome.
But we did have a good time.
As long as you had a good time.
That's good. That's good. I want to take a trip.
Just be happy you weren't in Elko, Nevada.
Okay. Was
with
it like
Mormon crickets? Have you seen that?
Mormon crickets.
Yes. You have not seen the infestation of Mormon crickets in Elko, Nevada?
Okay, I think I did see something about it, but didn't.
Oh, it makes me want to throw up just looking at it. I don't know how people are like dealing with it. I'll pull it up right now.
Crickets don't bother me.
No, they're not normal crickets.
Well, they like
Well, they're apparently Mormon crickets. Are they all they're on their like year off to like witness to people, these Mormon crickets?
Is it because they just reproduce consistently and that's why there's an influx?
Uh-huh.
We can make
know where you think
milk
you're going.
all day long.
Uh-huh.
That's not a few crickets.
Those would be too big for this little guy, for this little one to eat.
Yeah, way too big.
Oh, they're huge.
And the thing about crickets is that they jump. They'll like jump on you.
Oh yeah, like their roads turn a whole different color because there's so many of them that are getting run over, and they are totally taking over people's houses. They're all over the walls and windows and walkways and driveway. I mean, they're everywhere. Fuck that. It's like a Mormon on your front porch that won't go away. That might have been why they named them that. I don't know. But I mean, no, thank you. I would wake up and vomit.
Yeah, those are way too big for this little one to eat right at the moment.
Yeah. And then when they die, when they get killed, they eat each other.
So they're cannibal crickets.
Well, regular crickets will do that too.
It's disgusting.
If they're that hungry. Yeah.
Regular crickets, if you raise them, like if I were to have crickets and you die for the bearded dragon, they'll eat each other when they die.
Well,
they'll eat the ones that are dead.
And by the way, crickets are smelly.
I would give them the house and just move.
Yeah, we feed them.
I'm not planning on feeding this bearded dragon crickets. No, I will stick with the mealworms I can stick in the fridge and they go into hibernation state.
That's true.
That shit gave me goosebumps.
Like,
oh my god! You know what I smell like when I look at the pit? Like you could hear me, like I'm gagging. You know when you were in biology class and you had to dissect the frog, and it was that that formaldehyde insect kind of funky smell. That's what wow.
I refuse to.
Oh, we weren't allowed. My school was. We were not allowed to. Nobody was giving us anything to dissect anything with. Like a blade, not happening in my school.
Oh. She went to school.
Yeah, when I was in high school, we brought our own blades. What are you talking about?
And your own animal to dissect, I'm sure, right?
No,
we got roadkill.
No, but we did have shotguns hanging in the rear windows of vehicles or laying in the back seat.
In the rear
There's still a lot of places that they have that.
Yeah.
And nobody ever said a word to us. Christ, we walked into school carrying a damn. You could literally have a 6-inch blade. I'm talking the blade was 6 inches long.
Well, yeah, because your PE was fucking hunting a deer. There's still schools in the South. I don't know what area of the South that have like tractor day, and the students drive the tractors to school.
Like
That's
tractor days. Okay.
Yeah, they drive their families like farm tractors to school.
I had a teacher who would bring in roadkill deer and dissect in class.
Nope.
That's the middle of the country for you.
Where did you grow up?
Didn't she grow up in Pennsylvania?
I don't know.
That's
That is not middle of the country.
Oh, Christ. We had
I call it middle if it's not a coast.
And our shop class was at the end of the bus garage, not attached to the school. And we literally would bring deer in during deer season if we got one before we got to school. Hang it up there, bleed it, cut it right there in the shop.
At school. Oh, the good old times.
I'm done. We used to ditch and go to Taco Bell. You know, maybe get a little Starbies. Get a Busy Bee sandwich and go down to the coast. We weren't bleeding deers.
Right.
No. It is a little different over on the West Coast.
A little bit.
Hey, on the East Coast, we eat deer meat. Sorry.
They
Yeah,
eat it here too. It's just more of a Northern California thing than a Southern California thing.
Yeah.
So, but
I'm not gonna say why I was ditching school because here comes my 4-year-old.
I don't remember.
I never ditched school. That's
What?
I would never.
I would never do such a thing.
I did.
Comic time. Well, so
I'm not saying we ditched school to get the deers. We just kind of got them en route to school and
it was in the
Let it go to
road.
waste.
instead of letting it sit in the back of your vehicle all day, no, you took it in the shop, you hung it up,
Yeah, no, that's
let it bleed, cut it up,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, and
our
there's
only
that.
experience with deer was we would feed them by hand in our front yard up at the cabin. That was about it. And then one died on our property, and it brought, I think it was hit by a car, and it like traveled to our property because our property is more remote and there aren't as many people on it as often. And a lot of people up in that area live there full time. So this thing just traveled on our property to die, and it brought a ton of turkey vultures to the property. And we went up, and I was like, something's down the property. I can smell it. I gotta find it. And there are just tons of turkey vultures in all the trees waiting to find this thing. They couldn't find it. I was a little surprised. By the time I found it, it was all swollen and heavy. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta get it off the property before it explodes. Apparently, legally, you're not supposed to move it, but I moved it to the water tower just across our like little road in the cul-de-sac, and I was like, ooh, it's on city property, so you guys can take care of that, not me. But
My mom used to have a ton of deer that would be in her backyard when she was up in Fair Oaks.
Yeah, Northern California has a lot of deer.
So we read a book.
We read more Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger. More was done in this. Look at this. Look at all my noties, y'all.
Oh, my noties.
My noties, my little butterfly notes. Except then I used up too many notes on the last section because it was long AF. The last section.
Super long?
Oh, good God.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I do it. I feel like, am I really going to go back and look at my notes later? No, I'll just read it. But whatever. It's fun for us discussing. So, anyway, all right. Your recap was nice and short and helpful because I read early again this week. And so by the time I got to the end of the week, I was like, what did happen? Oh, yeah, Christmas.
I almost forgot to do it, and I was day drinking a little bit, and so I just talked to texted it. I was like, let me see all the things I can remember.
Oh my God, I love it. That's great. Did a little talk to text while I was schmammered in the afternoon.
Little day drinks at the pool, at my sister's pool, and I was like, oh, I got to do my recap.
I literally spent my whole day cleaning one bathroom in my house. Scrubbing walls and doing all kinds of weird shit. So
I did that yesterday.
It feels good to have it done, but then I feel like I did nothing today.
Yeah.
Anyway, you have a ton of deer come through your area. That's nice. We have rabbits here and coyotes like crazy, and then bobcats and mountain lions. So keep your dogs indoors. But all right, so we read. Your recap is great. Henry meets Claire's friends. Gomez is unsure about him. We find out that Henry loves to beat the headlights out of phobes. Claire's trying to reconcile the grown man she knew as a child with a young man who doesn't know her at all and isn't the person that she remembers. We find out how ridiculously rich Claire actually is. And Claire and Henry spend Christmas together with her family in their extra special fancy house with their cooks and servants and
yeah, I mean, like You knew Claire was rich. You kind of got that sense that she was rich, but
Yeah, but you didn't know how rich.
I don't feel like
room rich.
I don't think I knew. I mean, we knew that she had one. We knew, but Nell is new. So I did not know about Nell until recently. I was like, damn.
Right.
You really have some money.
Serious service. And I did not realize that her mother had
a problem.
Did she say it was bipolar?
Bipolar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And an alcohol problem.
Wow.
Yeah, that came up this week. That was interesting. Last week we found out that she finds out from him that eventually her mom's going to die of ovarian cancer. And she was like, okay. And like took it kind of well. But now we know why. It's because she's been dealing with her mom for many, many, many years. And so sometimes those kinds of endings are helpful. I don't think I like Gomez, and I'm not sure I do either so far. So Gomez I like. I don't even care if he wants to get with Claire. I like Gomez. He's looking out for her. He saw her dude act shady and called him out for it.
Yeah. Well, and remember the first time, well, no, that was the second time he meets him and then he finds out about him. He goes and apologizes to her, right? Mm-hmm. And then the fact that he tells him, you're going to be my best man and I'm going to be your best man. So obviously they kind of hash. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like, all right, give the dude a chance. Like he's just kind of looking out for his friend. But
he took him out on a beanie and was like, I mean, a beanie. Yeah. Who said that? Jim Cook? Beanie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like, you beat the heck out of somebody. You're wearing ridiculous clothing that you stole. You then break into a place to steal more and admit to the fact that you break into this place all the time and steal constantly.
But Gomez was down for the ride.
Yeah, you know what I think? Gomez was like, look, I need to get to know this guy better. And the only way I'm going to do it is if I stick with him long enough to find out what the fuck is going on with him. And he was.
Don't forget, though, Gomez was behind the register trying to get himself, a couple of bucks. So he ain't no innocent angel just trying to go along for the ride to see what he can find out.
No, but he's probably a good friend who still wants to make sure that she's not putting herself into someone who's going to be violent or weird.
Because, none of that was weird.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah. Well,
but he was like, stick around long enough, you'll see me disappear.
He rubs me the wrong way. Yeah.
I was like, I gotta see this. Let's go.
Yeah. He's probably going to end up trying to hit on her at some point later.
I don't know why it reminds me of, have you guys seen the magicians on TikTok? It's the two guys with the gold.
I have.
And they go up to people on the street or like up to a train window and they shake the curtain and then they drop it down and the one runs, but you can see him crawling away and then the other guy's standing there like it's a big magic trick. Every time he like disappears or comes back, that's what I think of. I don't know why. It is hysterical.
I love it.
Yeah. It's like the cheesiest, most like, unsuccessful magic trick. And then people are cracking up laughing and then like, all right, yeah, you did it. It's funny.
Like when kids try to do magic for you.
Like, like when if you've seen the parents do it to their animals, right? And then it's like just like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love those. I love when the animals are actually tricked by it too, by the way.
Right. And they're like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Look, Desiree is commenting using my mama's account now. That's how you know.
Is she like
mama's phone? Why? Get your own phone. Like, get your phone, Desiree. Get your phone. My Wii is loose. See? Weenus is loose. Did Desiree take over your laptop? See? My mom is on her phone. She took Desiree's. Okay.
But she have Tourette's right now of Weenus? I don't understand.
Ween. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Anyway. Wow.
Like she has to come on here with an alias.
Her mom.
Yeah. Like, come on here.
It's like the virtual hooded sweatshirt, right? Like they'll never know it's me.
She's secretly Mr. Grizzly.
Right? Turn this son bitch hat. at the Northern Lights.
We're acting like we don't already know it's her.
I know.
Her
She's
name.
like, oh, got you guys. It's me. We know, bitch.
She
We
left
know.
it unattended. That's what she gets, I guess. Oh, Mom. No better. Oh, Mama.
Oh,
Look at that.
Here we go.
I don't think Grizzly will be here tonight.
They're busy up in Norway or Vermont or
You gotta
wherever else he said he's- I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna find the damn chats.
I hope you do.
I'm sure you will.
We need to.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so our author did include some discussion topics for book clubs toward the back of the book, but I do believe that most of it is kind of for if there's, okay, there we go. If you've already completed the reading of the entire book. So I'm not sure if any of them will apply here. But I'm going to take a look.
Don't know where you're going.
Well, that's a Q&A about with the author. That's cool. So it includes a Q&A. Those are always neat. What else is back here? Reading group guide. And about the author. I want to know how the hell she came up with this. You ever wonder if like parts of an author are in there or if they just make it all up?
Definitely think there's parts of.
Yeah, I think they always pull a little bit of something from their life or what they know, and then they just embellish
Yeah, maybe.
and add shit. But there was a book that one of them was reading that isn't it kind of similar to this story? What the hell is it called? I gotta look it up. Hold on.
Welcome, Chris, by the way. You didn't say hi when you came in.
Was this week with the sketch drawing where he or
I think that was right at the end of last week.
okay.
Thanks.
I just thought that
Oh,
was
A Wrinkle in Time. Sorry.
Oh yes, he was reading A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah.
I did catch that. He was sitting in her room reading A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
That is a good book.
Yeah. That's
Just
kinda-
like how Crawdad's author probably read Secret Life of Bees.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
But I still am very much like on the question of whether they can change anything. Because when he
Yeah.
tells her about the sketch that hangs in their house, and he's like, no, you don't put a date on it. There is a date on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she puts it on there, and when he gets back to the future, it's ripped off. But it wasn't ripped before. It just wasn't there.
I don't know.
Bothers me.
Maybe something happens later on that he rips it off for a reason, or someone rips it off for a
Well,
reason.
she does. She says that she didn't want to tempt it, so as soon as he left, she got rid of it. But I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, if he knows something, or he was saying that if he knows something, he can't tell you
Mhm.
because it could change things. So that means that
Yeah, she did rip
it
it
can
off.
be changed. But then how would he know if he tries not to change anything? Oh.
Yeah. Bothers me.
I hope we find out.
I want to ask you guys this.
Mhm.
Has anybody been in a situation where you had to bring like your significant other home to meet your family or your parents? Where they had to like stay the night? And what was that like?
Like they had to stay in another room.
Well, for me, it's like weird,
and,
like to
not
hear
getting it on yet.
of couples that like have dated for so long to where they're getting married and they've never met your family. But maybe that's just because I'm so close to my family and we're all like here that could like never happen because we're all weirdos. But it's, yeah, like, has anybody been in that situation where you kind of had your significant other for a while and then you decide to introduce them to the family?
Nope. I don't think I've ever gotten to do that.
Right?
And all the dating I did long before CJ. And we had met when I was 21, so it's not like I could have seriously dated someone for a long period of time really before then. But I mean, that's not true because Dominique and Houston dated for many years. And
I mean, I think, I don't know. I definitely had boyfriends that spent the night when I was in high school. So
I didn't date much in school.
no, I didn't date anyone at school.
no, I did not date anyone. Well, maybe like one guy, but I was, yeah.
No, I don't know. Yeah. Has anybody ever like, no, my family met any boyfriends I had pretty early.
Yeah, same. I mean, I dated in high school, but he was already out of high school. Which I think back and I'm like, you were like 23 years old going to my prom, like weird.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, thank you.
Same, right?
That's girls versus boys, though. Like, we know, like, they're not mature at that age. So if we're older, it's like,
Oh my god.
no, I'm not going to go to your prom. Thanks.
I always
No, I'm not going to date you at all.
No.
I always hesitate to tell people that I dated guys that were so much older than me.
Oh no, not I. Not I. That's
Because
what I went
they're
for.
like,
I never
oh,
wanted to date anybody my age.
Me neither.
Yeah.
But like today as an adult, I hesitate to tell other adults that because they're like, oh, what was wrong with him? Was he grooming you? Was this happening? And I'm like, no, I Jezebel'd them. Like,
but I was 18 in my senior year. So 18 and 23, that's not horrible.
No.
But I was dating him from my junior year into my senior year. So
yeah, I'm like 15 and 21.
I was 17 and 22.
Yeah.
It's all right. See?
Wow. Maybe I shouldn't say it. I don't know if I should.
Say it. Yeah, you should.
How old was I? I would have been.
Who's this? Who's this?
Nobody knows. CJ knows about this person, but he's the only one. So that's why I said I wonder if I should say anything. But I was 18 and I have absolutely no idea how old he was. He might have been 38.
All right.
All I know is I was working at In-N-Out, so I'm not even 100 that I was 18 at the time. I might have been 17. I have no idea. But
so male of
dated in a sense that, like, you know, we went to dinner and then hooked up a lot, and that was about it for a few months on end when he would come visit in town. I don't know. I met him at work. That was it.
He was just a Rolling Stone, huh?
He was a Rolling Stone. Yeah, he would travel for work. And so when he traveled into town, there I was. I don't know.
Yeah, traveled for work. Mm-hmm.
No, he literally didn't. So. No, there were no lies or stories.
There was another older
weird thing, but I enjoyed myself, you know.
There was another older guy that you went out with too.
No, I did not.
Yeah, no, yeah. But you were like, I think it was when we were 16.
And he was 47, I'm sure.
He was 47.
Here we go. Here comes honest.
And I'm gonna leave it. And I'm gonna leave it like that. No, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Better you than me. Better you than me.
Look, it ended at, do you want to see my gun collection? Okay. That was where it ended.
Sure did.
Right at that moment, my brother.
All of a sudden, her brother, broke his arm?
Broke his leg.
Is that what happened? Yeah. Oh, got it.
Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, ring, ring, ring. Oh, my brother broke his leg. I gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Look,
thanks,
sometimes we just
have
want to
me
date
friend.
somebody older. It's okay. All right. As long as we know what we're doing and we weren't like talked into it in some way, I think it's fine.
Although a lot of my situations, I think back and I'm like, I could have been murdered here
Dead.
and here and
Here,
right here
this side,
twice.
this
Yeah.
side.
Should have been dead.
Oh, AOL like murdered me about 7 or 8 times.
Oh God! Anytime somebody tried to talk to me on that
It's like
messenger, I didn't know.
ASL
Yeah,
and possible murder? Question mark? Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, great.
Yeah. ASL was lie. Sex location. That's what that was. Really.
Yeah, I don't even know how I'm alive.
I should have been murdered so many times.
So
Yeah.
many times.
Yeah, like every encounter could have been a Lifetime movie. I don't know how I managed.
Yeah, I've lost count of the
where,
number
like,
of times
nobody
I
knew about
should have been dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then that show To Catch a Predator came out, and I'm like, I think that guy messaged me. Like,
Right?
I should have called him up and been like, just follow me around. You'll get him.
right?
Just follow me around.
Yeah.
Right?
You want to just hang out with me on a random Thursday afternoon? Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I can set up in my kitchen. I'll even ask him to have a seat. Why don't you have a seat?
Right? Oh, yeah. I was like, when that came out, I was like, oh my God. I wonder how many I might have been chit-chatting with. Anna was chit-chatting with one.
Many people.
You're all watching it and you're like, is that Ricky? What the fuck's Ricky doing on it?
I mean, people are on there like, is that my dentist?
Oh my
Like-
God.
Right?
Who was I chatting with?
The one
Which
that should have
one?
been on To Catch a Predator.
Yeah.
The one sending you gifts.
The one that was discovered by a certain other person?
No, not like that. Not like that.
Are you talking about gun collection?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And we only found him out because of the sacrifice of a certain other person.
You're welcome. You might have been dead if it weren't for me.
Fuck you! Because had he really looked like his picture, I would have came back and whooped your ass. All I know is I had a dream about that Tickle Me Elmo coming to life and murdering me in my sleep, and that was in the garbage the next day.
Honestly, I think it's story time because we've got a few gals with us today who've never heard this story.
It's on you if you want this story to be told. This is your story to tell.
How about you tell your half of the story and I tell my half of the story?
As long as you tell your half correctly.
Same, bitch. And
Got
you don't
it.
try to tell mine or interrupt mine because you weren't there.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
You're welcome is really what we should be saying here.
At the end of this story, you're going to
Caitlin, I
find
think I
out
am
why
too.
number 1, a you're welcome is not in order. And then number 2, better her than me. So here we go.
You're welcome.
So I was talking to somebody that I met off of one of the AOL chats, and he said that he was 20, pretty in his mid-20s, right? He was like in his mid-20s, blue eyes, dark hair, Italian, right? And we would talk like on the phone, but no video chat back then, and we didn't have pictures. So we would always chat back and forth, and then I would talk to him sometimes while I was at Tasha's house. Just like when she would come to my house, she would have her guys call my house, right?
Right.
So anyway, me and this guy are going back and forth, and he's like all in love and bullshit, whatever. And he's like trying to send me gifts, and he sends me this Tickle Me Elmo, which I don't even remember why. And I'm just kind of thinking like, okay, well, I go off to Italy. And while I'm gone in Italy, Tasha, take it away.
So he calls me and he's like, hey, where's Anna? I have talked to her. And I was like, Anna's in Italy. I knew she was going. And he was like, oh, I thought she was back. And I'm like, no. He was like, well, and then we just were talking because we had before, when you like would all be on the phone together, like chit chatting. Yeah. So we were all on the phone together, whatever. Anyway, so he and I had chit chatted before. So we were just chit chatting then. No big deal. And then he was like, do I hang out or something? And I'm like, I guess there's nothing else to do. So he picks me up, and that was the worst day I have ever
Oh, no. We're not ending the story there.
No, I wasn't ending it. That was the start. That was the start of what's to come next. So, anyways, he drives up to pick me up, and I wish I could find a photo of someone who actually resembles the person.
Wait, before she continues, I felt like I had taught her nothing. Because what I would always do was, if I was meeting up with someone, I would say, all right, I'm going to have on like blue jeans and a red sweater, and I would show up in like black pants and a different color top. So in case they were this situation,
I didn't know that.
Hey, that ain't me. And you move on, right? Like, Adriana, who? You got the wrong person. Anyway, continue.
I lived life on the edge and said, I'm wearing a blue sweater today, but I wrapped it around my waist. So just in case. It didn't matter. It was just anybody could wear a blue sweater. This guy pulls up in a like copper colored beater of a car. He is the size of a house, wears glasses, has a mustache. He's losing his hair. It's graying.
Is about how old would you say?
45. 50.
At least.
50.
Ugh. The description makes me think that he smells like salami or like an Italian deli, like that stink. Ew. I every time I think about him, that's what I get.
Luckily, he did not smell like an Italian deli, except for the fact that I get in the car because there is no one around. No one. I was like, there's no one around. I can't get away with this at this point. And he was like, Tasha, and I was like,
see, I'm the fucking asshole that would have been like, hey, no thanks. This is not what you said you look like. Beat it. Tasha gets in the car.
I'm all alone, and there is no one to be found within any distance. Screaming I was not going to be heard. Idiot. Look, I called myself an
Thank
idiot.
you. And mind you, me and her were pretty good. Like when we would meet people or talk to people, we would meet them together. You know what I mean? Like it was far and few where we would kind of meet somebody by ourselves. So that's why I was even like, what the fuck? When I got back and found out, I was so mad at her that you.
This was like, this was when I learned my lesson. This was when I learned. Like I had to actually learn a lesson apparently. Anyway, picks me up and we go through a drive-through and he gets like 8 things. And then he's like, do you want anything? And I'm like, I didn't realize that was all for you. You ordered like 8 cheeseburgers. Okay. Anyway, and he was like, can you get my wallet? It's in the glove box. So I opened the wallet and I'm here opening it, trying to get money. And I was like, memorize the address on the driver's license. I don't know it now. I don't know if I remembered it then, but I really tried hard. And I look at his birthday and I swear he was like 45, 47, something like that.
But didn't he have something else in the glove box?
No, I don't remember. Did he?
I thought he stopped at the drugstore and he had something else in the glove box.
Oh, I don't even remember. Maybe. If I said it then, it probably is. I blocked it out. You know how we do.
Well, he thought he was getting lucky. Let's just put it that way.
You went to 2 public places. I would have been like, I got to go to the bathroom. I need your phone.
It was drive-through.
Drive-through.
Yeah, I think I ought to come up with some.
I think she was in
Y'all
shock.
were learning that I was an idiot at one point in my life, and so it gets worse. It gets worse. We pull up to where he's like, so we're going to go to my house. And I'm like, well, we don't need to. I should probably be getting back soon. We pull up to his house and it's in like an RV park, which is fine. But there are sheets and foil covering every window of this one.
So it's a murder trailer.
It's a murder trailer.
Got it.
And he lives with his mom. He's like, my mom's home. Don't worry about her. And I'm like, oh, thank God. If I scream for help, never mind. I saw Texas Chainsaw. The whole town was in on it. I'm dead. I'm fucking dead, including his mom. So,
or it's a psycho situation where his mom is just a skeleton in a wig.
Yeah. Yes. Something.
Don't let her bother.
I was like, something's coming. He's like, all right, well, let's just go to. There's my mom. Say hi. We're gonna go to my room. We're just gonna eat. And he locks the door, and I was like, I'm dead. You want to see my gun collection?
Was this him? Not far off.
Dad.
No, his hair didn't look like that. He didn't have long hair. Tell me you didn't go on a murder thriller.
I'm done.
I might have stayed longer if that's what was going on. I don't know. I was an idiot of a teenager. I'm just saying. Look at her.
Good God.
My mom's gonna kill me. I hope she doesn't. I hope she's not on right now. But anyways, so he's like, "We're gonna put on a movie." Puts on some scary movie. I'm like, brilliant. I love.
She did.
I love scary movies. This is a great idea. And so we do. Literally, I have not left the corner edge of my seat. I was like, I'm gonna bolt at any time. I don't know where I'm gonna go, but just in case. He was fine. Nothing happened. I didn't, really have anything to worry about. It was just a lot of scary surrounding things that could have happened and didn't. But then he was like, "Hey, you want to see my gun collection?" I was like, "No, I need to call my mom and check in though." So I call and I pretend like I'm on the phone with my mom. And I was like, "Oh shit, my brother broke his leg." Okay, well, I'll be there as soon as I can. And I was like, "Hey, you got to take me back. I got to deal with this shit. I probably got to watch my sister so that my mom can be with him at the hospital." And he was like, "Okay." So he did. He took me and I had him drop me off. No fucking where near my house. Just so you know, I wasn't a total idiot. After all that, yes. After all that, I might as well have given him my address on a silver plate. I know. But to be fair, Anna might have gone on a date with him. And
no, the fuck I would not have, because you already know I'm a fucking asshole, and he would have pulled up and I would have told him, "Kick fucking rocks. I don't know who the fuck you are." And I would have been on my merry way.
That was before
Honestly, I think I could see Anna doing that.
It was before I learned to
problem.
speak up for myself. He was probably so shocked you were still around after the literal sea of red flags that he forgot to.
They came waving out of his fucking car. The flags were like out the fucking window of the car and shit. Fucking,
I just thought he was, festive.
Wow.
No, anyway, so he takes me to my friend's house, and I didn't even let him see like where she lived. I literally walked in some random person's backyard and was like, "Bye," and then hopped over the fence later. And
smartest thing you did.
But yeah, that's the only smart thing I did.
Well, blessings that nothing happened.
So anyways, then I tell Anna when she gets back from Italy, and when he calls her next time, she's like, "Nah, we're good.
We're done.
But you're welcome."
Yeah. Way to take one for the team there.
Way
to bite the bullet.
Did I not? I literally wrote a lesson of what not to do here.
Elmo.
Yeah, that was definitely a lesson in what not to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Maybe I thought that I could just like disappear at any moment, and that would be, like I would just appear somewhere safe, like Henry.
No, your luck, you would have appeared back in his trailer, butt naked, from your time travel, and ready to see guns.
Ready to see the collection.
Yeah.
You're like, "I have a pistola for you that you can."
You would have strapped them all on you like that. Like, "You want to wear my holster?"
You want to know who he looks like?
Please.
Did
you find a picture?
Officer
Pinocchio. I'm done. That's all bad.
He looked almost identical to Officer.
Man, I thought it was gonna be a celebrity. I was ready. For you to be like, "You look like a."
First of all, hold on.
Who?
Officer Pinocchio is a national hero.
Matter
of fact, he's a national treasure.
That sounded like the beginning of a true crime podcast. Yes, you're welcome.
Have you ever heard that one? Let's Not Meet Again.
Later.
There's a podcast called Let's Not Meet Again. The story would be perfect. At the end of it, it's like, "Hey, so to the crazy Chester the molester that wanted to show me his gun collection, let's not meet again." Perfect story.
You may not tickle my Elmo. Oh my God, Anna said she was in Italy, but really she's at home teaching a lesson. Mom was an actor. The whole thing was a setup. I would die.
Oh, hell no. Trust me. I was enjoying myself in Italy.
She said no, but I'm going to hear it soon, right? Yeah, you'll hear that podcast. Somebody's going to use my story here. Watch.
Oh, Let's Not Meet Again is amazing.
Oh my God. You'd think that I'd learned my lesson, but I'm pretty sure I still went places I shouldn't have after that.
For sure.
But I never met anybody who lied about what they looked like from that point forward.
Yeah, I requested many photos after that.
Many photos.
Yeah, I was like, upload them, because I had all my pictures on my floppy disk. I didn't care. I was like, upload them.
Upload.
We're not talking till I see it.
If it was on it, definitely been duct taped and thrown in the closet.
Oh,
Yeah, if
for sure.
I had set it up to teach me a lesson, I would have 100% been duct taped.
For sure.
And I would have cried and I would have peed myself.
Probably.
Yeah, and then I probably would have never left my house again. But I did. I left my house again many, many times. And went places I shouldn't, with people I shouldn't have. I went down to a boat one time down in the marina. Nobody knew I was going. Who would think? I know.
I refused to get a cell phone until I was old enough to move out. And
I should have had one.
Yeah.
I
Well,
was like,
I got in a car with a guy who took me on a drive up to his dorm room in Santa Monica. No, Santa Barbara. Go figure.
Look, you're shit talking to me.
But I had met him prior, and then when he picked me up for the date, he's like, "You want to go and see my dorm?" And I didn't remember where he said he went to school, and I'm like, "Sure." Next thing I know, I'm in fucking Santa Barbara. Thank God he brought my ass back home.
Yeah. Could you imagine having to call your mom to come get you?
She probably would have left me there just to teach me a
good luck.
lesson and been like, "Yeah, I'll pick you up when I can. Figure it out."
See you in about 3 days.
Oh my God.
I'll just hitchhike back. Whatever.
That'll be fine.
Just in case I didn't get myself into enough of a pickle. Anyway. Come to think of it, he was probably not dangerous, but that was a very dangerous situation.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know is because he willingly was like, immediately was like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's okay. I'll take you right now." And so had he really, I think he just like was lonely, a fucking liar, pants on fire, and wanted company, and like finally had this like idiot of a teenager that came to keep him company.
What gets me is that these people that like catfish, like, what do you think is going to happen when you show up and you're just a complete 180 of what you said you were? Like,
Everyone was hoping that they would get into the situation that I did, where they'd be like, "She just got in anyway. Who cares?"
it just baffles me. Like,
They'll realize that they love me for who I am on the inside.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
Right? Like no one's gonna notice.
It's like,
right?
but you're a liar.
Right.
There are what was that movie? There was a movie, a holiday movie actually, that had, was it Nina Dobrev?
Yes.
I love her, and I love the main characters in that movie. It was a cute little holiday movie too. I can't remember what it was.
Legit what happens.
And it was legit about like, but he used like a friend's photo that was in town. And so when she shows up there, she sees this guy and is like, "Hold on, that's not him." And anyway, it ends up being a cute story, but it does start out that way.
Okay. So the guy that took me to Santa Barbara, here's the funny thing about that story. So I went with a friend of mine to go to coffee, and she had met this guy online and they were talking. She wanted to go and meet him in person, but didn't want to go by herself. So I went with her. Well, come to find out, when she had showed him pictures of her, he was asking then about me. So she was telling him, "Oh yeah, well, let's set up a coffee date and then I'll bring her so you can meet her," where I thought I was going with her to meet this dude that she was talking to. So she used me to get him to come down and hang out. And then all of a sudden I find myself like on this fucking makeshift date. It was the weirdest thing. And this friend did it to me more than once.
Okay,
You know who it is.
No,
I'm not going to say her name, but you know who it is. Yes. And I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me." And she did it to me with another person too. And I'm like, what in the fuck? That's weird.
And the only way she could get it was to show.
I guess so. Well, that was the only way that she was able to get him to come in person. It was weird.
Freak.
Weird.
But
that
yeah,
could have been a
see,
red
I
flag.
was also doing the same thing. I just thought I was showing up for a friend. I was not trying to take your man. Believe me,
You
the guy I was dating at the time was so what?
I just wanted Mr. Palermo.
Anna Di Palermo. You know when you like were dating back in the day and you would like assume the last name, and so like when we would write notes to each other, we would write notes and like address it
last
to
name.
whomever, including the new boyfriend's last name. Yeah, forever Anna Di Palermo.
But I had his picture, and we went to the movies a couple times. He was good looking.
He was, yeah, because you did bring me along with you to meet him at the movie, and it was definitely the third wheel. But he wasn't a liar, pants on fire, so I didn't mind. I thought that was fine. I said, get it.
Oh my God. What else happened in this book?
Right? So in the definition of grooming that is not occurring in this story. If you look up the definition of grooming, that is not what's happening. Does it feel like grooming? Yes. But grooming is with the intent to exploit or abuse later in. That's not what actually occurs. Thank goodness for that. It's just an inappropriate relationship altogether, which is what led us to our previous conversation for absolutely ever about inappropriate relationships with inappropriately aged men.
Yep. Sorry I missed that discussion last week, but
oh no, you didn't miss anything. It was just kind of a lot of was it, is it? It's kind of weird.
Well,
everybody's uncomfortable with it.
From what I read, though, he was trying to keep her at bay during certain years.
Right. And so she does state that numerous times in like her side of things. She's like, he wouldn't touch me. He was always hands off. He was trying to keep away from me, blah, blah, blah. But obviously she was insistent. And I got to say, like, I remember being a teenage girl and being insistent and being
and
like,
having the crush on the older
guy.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And you know, saying kiss me, like you're going to get a kiss. Like, I'm just saying. Yeah. And how old was he? It was 17 and 38. That's very close for me. It was like probably 18 and 38. So whatever.
That's all that matters.
I really did. It was an appropriate relationship for what it was. All consensual, enthusiastic consent, right?
That's right.
Or enthusiastic participation. That's the one. Enthusiastic participation. Yeah. It feels so gross still. Right? It does feel gross in this story. But in reading this story, I had to kind of look back at my years and be like, bitch, don't be so harsh. Like, Anna.
Yeah.
Don't be so rough on yourself or on this book. Obviously, it is a very untraditional love story. Very, very untraditional. We did discover, I don't know if you saw it, that our little thermos is right there on the front.
Yeah.
Super cute. Did I take any notes?
One of the things this week that I put in the recap that they touched on was that Claire trying to reconcile that Henry is not the man that she fell in love with.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ooh, right. Good point.
Like, he's still finding himself, and he's just met her. He has no historical context of their relationship, so she's literally still waiting on someone that...
Yeah.
Which has to be tough.
Yeah.
Well, imagine the feeling when she ran into the ex-fiance.
Oh, man.
Because the Henry that she knew wouldn't have one.
Uh-huh. That's weird.
Yeah. He'd only ever talked about her to her. But yeah, I mean, she met grown man Henry. She met has my shit together Henry.
She, met past all the baloney. Been there, done that Henry. Like,
yeah.
It's definitely a different kind of person. I mean, I think all of us were fairly young when we got married. Am I wrong? Fairly. when we like
I
kind
was
of
not young when I got married, but I met my husband at 22.
So fairly young still. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And looking back, let's see, I was 21 when I met CJ. He was a totally different person then. But like, you know, he'd already been married and had a kid. So I think that also kind of put him in a different place. So I didn't have to go through all of like the bullshit that really she's having to go through of meeting someone new who's still like on their life path and discovering who they are. And obviously that's not who she fell for, like you said. So it's got to be very different. She just has to wait out him becoming this like better human being and is like having to let go of like all of the parts of him that she's clearly not enjoying right now. But the sex is good. So
But it's interesting because, you know, it could have easily turned into her just falling out of love with him by seeing that version of him, and then how that could possibly change what the future looks like. You know?
yeah. Oh, yeah. See, you were 17. You were a baby. And things are so different when you're 17 than when you're 20, 22, 20 fucking 6. Like, so different. You know, you look back at like who you were at 17 and who you could have married at 17. Not all of us did, thank goodness.
I was engaged at 18 to be married. I was so dead set. Thank God that didn't happen.
Same.
And then I married Sean when I was 28. And what a difference 10 years makes. What a difference even 5 years makes from when you're like 18 to your mid 20s. Like how much you change. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But, you know, I thought I knew it all.
Oh, yeah. See, you're right. She probably helps him grow because, like, she's already so much more mature for her age, given her history with him, than she normally would be had she just been allowed to live and be a normal teenager. But she didn't have a normal childhood, preteen, teen years.
Well, like my husband and I have talked about this. If we had met as teenagers, we would have hated each other. Like, we would not. We would have been like button heads, you know?
Wow.
But you just meet at a particular time in your life, and you
it's
know,
right. Yeah.
And it's right. Well, you know, this can turn into this real quick.
Right. Well, and that's the kind of relationship that a lot of people have where they're like, they don't ignore this. They like take this and they're like, yeah, it's okay. All of this will just make this disappear. But it doesn't always. Sometimes people are like this forever. So, and like you said, you guys needed to obviously not meet at that time in your life. No. Well, I don't even know what would have happened if I met CJ as a teenager.
Well, I know I wouldn't.
All right.
Because he was too close to my own age.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say CJ was too young, obviously. He's 3 years older than me, and for half the year, he's 3.5 or 4 years older than me. I guess you could call it. But that's as old as I get now.
My husband is the first man I've ever cougared, and he is 6 months younger than me.
6 months.
Sean is 7 months older than me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are really close in age. Yeah.
He's old.
Stupid.
So are we doing anything for our dues?
Oh, I have to pull it up, but Dominique sent me a funny little, where is it? Game. Did I save it here? Where did I save it? Oh, I did. Who would know? Okay. Which fucking decade did this shit happen in? So, just a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to give you 2 decades, and you guys can just decide which decade it actually occurred in, and then I'll tell you the real date. But it's just a bunch of history. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's not too boring. I didn't come up with it if it is.
Okay. Right.
We can blame Dominique. All right. The Matrix was released in theaters in the 1990s or the 2000s?
1990s.
90s.
2000s.
90s.
I'm so bad at this, by the way. My time gets, if it's not like 80s or early 90s or like 70s, I'm all fucked up after the 2000s.
So Matrix was released March 31st, 1999.
It was on my birthday.
On your birthday. Yeah. Oh my God. How old were you? In 99?
I was 14.
14. Okay. Yeah. You're a year younger than me, Rashawn. So. The Iran Air Flight 655 was shot down by a U.S. warship in 1970s or 1980s? This is when we were like,
7.
all of us were
I'm
young.
going to say 80s.
So.
I'm going to say 70.
We got a couple of 80s. Y'all are good with your history. July 3rd, 1988. Very good. Rodney King beaten by police in the 80s or 90s?
90s.
Right. Like, that was like on our fucking TV screens. Like, if anybody forgets that, like, where were you?
My dad was down there. He got caught up in that shit because he was working in that area when that happened.
Yeah.
And we were living in Corona. So I was in 2nd grade. So what year was that? When I was 93?
It was 1991.
Oh, 91.
Yeah. Oh, 92. Get out of here. You're wrong. Scientology was founded in the 1940s or the 1950s. My
50s.
grandfather was into Scientology, but not like the crazy, like trapped kind of Scientology. His was more like meditation. Well, like my whole family laughed about it.
I'm gonna have to go with the 50s
side. He was on my dad's side, so you know.
Yeah, I'm 50.
It's probably like late 1940s.
Roswell.
Let's see. What is it?
December 1953. All right. Panama takes control of the Panama Canal, 1990s or 2000s?
1990s.
2000s.
Might be.
I'm going to have to go with 2000s on that one.
Ooh, double O's. And it is December 31st, 1999.
You motherfucker.
All right. Wheel of Fortune debuts. Was it in the 70s or 80s?
70s.
70s.
Y'all are like, I'm right and I know it.
Wheel of Fortune.
And now it's going to be Ryan Seacrest.
I'm not watching.
What?
Oh, yeah. Pat
Kidding me, Anna.
retiring after this season.
Knew he was retiring, but Seacrest?
Yeah.
Ryan
Yeah.
Seacrest. And Vanna White is hoping that she's kept on. We'll see.
January 6th, 1975.
How old is Vanna?
Old. I was going to say old as, and I was like, I'm going to be respectful because Vanna's my girl. Okay, well, think about it. She must have been maybe like 19 or 20 when she started in 75, right? She was very young. So,
all right, next one. The final episode of MASH. 70s or 80s?
80s.
80s. You ain't going to tell me I'm wrong.
Don't shit talk about that, Vanna.
Every time MASH came on, I knew it was like way past my bedtime.
Oh my God, no. I would wake up and I would go lay out on the couch with my mom and we'd watch MASH.
I hated MASH. And every time it came on, I knew it was like way past when I should have been in bed.
See, the only reason I like MASH is because I got to stay up as long as I watched it.
Mm.
Yeah. We got 80s and 80s. All right. It was February 28th, 1983. All right. Soviet Union was established in the 1910s or 1920s.
1920s.
Yeah. I'm having to think back. Go back.
Tens.
10s and 20s. We got 20, we got 10, we got 10, we got 20.
10.
All right. It is December 30th, 1922.
What's with all this like next to New Year's Eve shit?
Right? Like
Panama
everything
was on New Year's Eve.
Year.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got a couple of summer things coming
Don't
up.
they go on break for like Christmas? Shit.
Here you go. Here's a little fun end of spring one. The first 4-minute mile, was it in 1940s or 1950s?
4-minute mile, 50s.
Yeah. 4-minute mile.
If you're talking about somebody running a mile.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Someone ran the first 4-minute mile.
Or the 50s. I don't know.
40s or 50s. We got 50 and 40.
Thinking they had better shoes in the 50s.
May 6th, 1954. All right. The Canadian dollar bill was discontinued in the 1980s or 1990s.
Canadian dollar bill.
90s.
Canadian dollar bill. 80s, 90s.
I'm going to go 80s.
All right. June 30th, 1989.
Ooh, June what? Oh, June. Okay.
June.
I heard 30th.
Yeah.
And I was like,
All right. The first Garfield comic was published in the 1970s or the 1980s?
70s.
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 Everybody's very confident about this one. Very confident. What day is it?
Huh?
It's Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Why was
Yes.
USPS driving by the house?
They do mail on Sundays, like mails.
That's annoying. How sad for them.
I'm sad for them.
All right. We got 70s. Okay. This was June 19th, 1978. Next one. Facebook was created in the 90s or the early 2000s.
2000s.
2000.
Yeah, I don't really need to. That was February 4th, 2004. Oh. Ooh, bitch, you said 90s. I'm gonna... No, just because you're the baby.
I was very anti-Facebook for a while, so I don't think I even had Facebook until like
until MySpace said that they were gonna fucking get rid of everybody. Yeah, I like waited for the last minute to do that. Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, World War I ends 1910s or 1920s?
1910s.
10s.
Let's see. We got 10s and 10s, and everyone is correct. November 11th, 1918. This one's funny. The Chicago White Sox throw the World Series, 1910s or 1920s?
Oh, I guess 20s.
Can you imagine throwing the World Series?
Why?
I don't understand what that means. I don't know sports. Do you mean like throwing a perfect game?
No.
No.
They on purpose
Losing
lost
on
the game. I'm
purpose.
going to say 20s.
Losing on purpose. They threw the game. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. It was, you guys said 20s. It was, no. Where is it? October 1st to October 9th. So the 1 week in 1919.
Does it say why?
No, it doesn't have that here. You can look it up.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Is this why they're cursed?
Chicago White Sox throw the World Series in 1919.
Okay. So Oh, but this says it was the Black Sox.
Ooh.
The Black Sox scandal was a Major League Baseball game fixing scandal in which 8 members of the Chicago White Sox were accused of throwing the 1919 World Series against Cincinnati Reds in exchange for money from a gambling syndicate led by Arnold Rothstein. So that's why.
Ooh, so just members of the team fucked it up.
That's probably when they started to forbid athletes from gambling.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. All right. Wow. Marshall University football team plane crash. 1960s
Oh my
or
God.
1970s?
That was the 70s. I love that movie, but it is so damn sad.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my God, look at her thinking she's going to cry right now. She's like, oh.
No, I just saw it like probably a month ago, and it gets me every time.
Oh my God. Some movies are like that. It's like when I watch The Green Mile and I'm over here just crying.
Yeah,
this
shit
shit
was
I don't
like,
like it in
me
the dark.
too.
And I'm over here like, he doesn't like it in the dark. Take it off.
My mom can't even hear the words Sophie's Choice without bursting into tears.
Oh, there are some movies like that. All right. It was November 14th, 1970. Right? The Green Mile.
Titanic's another one that gets me.
oh yes.
The old people like cuddling in the bed. I just was bawling in the
Anything that is based on a true story like that.
And
like,
actually, those
yeah.
two they did go
Yeah.
back to their rooms and go to sleep. The 2 gentlemen that were said
They just kept playing.
we're dressed for our best and we're gonna go out with the
Right.
ship. They did that.
Yeah. It's crazy. Oh.
Not me. I'd have took my cello and fucking floated on by like, huh, see ya.
I'm not talking about the musicians. I was talking about the 2
The officers.
No, I was talking about the 2 the 2 first class gentlemen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who,
Right.
when the
Queen
waiter or
Elizabeth.
when the steward came by with life vest, he asked him if he wanted life vest. If they wanted life vest, they both refused them and said, "We are dressed for our best. We would like a brandy."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they ever got that fucking brandy, but
Yeah, they gave them to someone else, basically. All right, Queen Elizabeth II begins her reign in the 1940s or 1950s?
40s.
No.
Oh,
They got a king now. 40s.
40s.
Y'all are going with 40s. And it was February 6th, 1952.
oh motherfucker. I know she was very young.
Yeah. Ronald Reagan was shot in the 70s or 80s.
80s.
He's
Right. Like we all kind of remember that.
Yeah, that was the start of all the goddamn gun control laws.
But it was before we were born, some of us. So, yes. 80s. March 30th, 1981. So, a couple years before we were born. But
Because shortly after Reagan was shot, the Brady Bill got introduced.
Oh. See, there you go.
Fucking Reagan.
Fucking Reagan.
Next.
Ronald Reagan. All right. Brazil wins its first World Cup, 1950s or 1960s?
God.
I love it. We're going back and forth in the decades like good old Henry here.
I'll go 60s.
I'll go 50s.
There you go.
Don't ask me these sports questions.
50s. All right. June 29th, 1958. There you go. 50s. All right. The first known AIDS death in the United States, was it in the 70s or 80s?
70s.
70s.
Let's see.
I don't know. That one's tough.
We got more 70s.
Because known AIDS death, and I know AIDS became very well known,
In.
and they knew, what it was in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But also,
But they could have been like fucking New Year's Eve, 1979. So I don't know. I'm gonna stick with 70s.
All right, January 15th, 1981.
So my thinking was correct.
Yeah. Could have stuck with that. Mm-hmm. All right. Robert Mugabe becomes the Prime Minister of Zimbabwe, 1970s or 1980?
Could have been yesterday. Couldn't tell you.
Right.
I'm gonna say 80s.
Guessing. We're just gonna guess. There's like another fucking 30 of these. Oh my god.
30.
I don't know. Like another 20 maybe. I don't know.
I have no clue.
70s.
70s.
All right. April 18th, 1980.
Got one. Fucking Zimbabwe. Got it.
All right. The first Super Bowl is played 1950s or 1960s?
50s.
50s.
See what the other ladies say.
Yay, sport.
Yay, sports. You're all, ooh, this is so exciting. 60s. All right. Back up. Oops. Okay. January 15th, 1967.
Motherfucker.
Well, there. The Titanic sinks. 1910s or 1920s?
1910s.
Right, we're just talking about it. Sorry, missed it. Got distracted. That's okay. It's okay. All right. Titanic sinks April 15th, 1912. Yeah. There you go. Tens and tens.
The submarine that going to see it and whatever happened. Apparently, the My Heart Will Go On reached like the top 10 on the Billboard charts again because so many people were streaming it.
Stop it.
I was like, we're all going to hell.
That's so ridiculous. Oh my God. I never even thought of that when all that was going on. That was not in my head at all. Oh my God. Oh wow. All right. Okay. Jamaican national bobsled team's first Olympic appearance. 80s or 90s?
90s.
80s.
My God, that movie.
The movie was in the 90s.
What was it? Cool Running?
Cool Runnings.
Well, the movie came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
So you got to give it time for it to happen. But 80s. I'm sticking with 80s.
80s.
Yeah. Yeah, 80s. All right. It was February 13th, 1988. So yeah, you guys gave it time. Good job. Let's see. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was published in the 70s or 80s. Cool Runnings.
No fucking clue.
Oh my God. The amount of times my sister and I still quote Cool Runnings. Like every time something fucking crazy happens, we're like, are you dead? Yeah, I'm on. I'm dead. Or no, I'm on. Anyway. Let's see. It was
I'm gonna say 70s.
It was the 70s, October 12th, 1979. The first man in space, 50s or 60s?
Oh, just in space?
Yeah, the first man in space.
50s. No.
50s or 60s?
60s.
She looks exactly like you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. She looks exactly like you.
Yeah,
Such a little beauty. All right, we got 60s. We got 50s.
60s.
All right. It was April 12th, 1961. Okay, let's see. The Space Shuttle Challenger explodes. 80s or 90s?
80s.
80s.
Now that made me cry.
Yeah, we were alive for that one. January 28th, 1986. Yeah, stuff we actually can remember now. Here we go. Prior to us. First man walks on the moon, 60s or 70s?
60s.
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 There you go. It was July 20th, 1969. Very good, ladies. Instagram is launched in the early 2000s or the 2010s. Instagram is launched.
2010.
I'm going to go 10s.
10s.
Oh, we got everybody going for 10s. We can finally say the 10s. All right. It was October 6th, 2010. It's weird to think that it's been around for 13 years, though. It doesn't feel like it. All right. Let's see. And Hawaii becomes a state, 50s or 60s?
I don't
know. All right. I need to go to Hawaii with more Ben.
That's where this one keeps asking to go.
Let's go. Let's go. I'll meet you there. Get your mama to go.
She wants a drink and a coconut.
Same.
Save yourself some money and just come to California and pretend you're there. We got palm trees and we've got coconuts for you.
Did you?
There we go. Yeah, we do have those technically, but it's not surrounded by a tropical isle. So, all right, August 21st, 1959. Are we supposed to go, or we were supposed to go March 20th, 2020. You guys, did you get your full refund back? You need to replan that trip.
So I was supposed to go when my sisters and my mom and everybody went. And that's when they had the missile scare.
Stop it.
Yeah, they were there when all of a sudden it was this breaking news missile to hit Hawaii and all this shit. And they were like panicked and didn't know what was going to happen. And I'm like at Disneyland. I think we were there for Desi's birthday. And I'm like, I got to go. Like, what are you calling me for? Claudia's like, we're about to die, bitch. She's not trying to find an airline out. Like, you are not going to get to no airport in time and get up in the air.
So you got refunded, but the airline just gave you credit. Whatever. Wow. No.
I would love to go because of Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to see Pearl Harbor just one time before I die.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. There are so many cool places like that, just to visit historically. But I mean, like the United States history is just so short. Like I think about it and I'm like, oh man, like it'd be so great to take a little history trip, but we're not going that far back. Like as soon as you hop over any pond, it's like the history goes way, 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 way back. And we're over here like, wow, that shit's in ruins. We don't have ruins in the United States. Ugh. Anyway. Well, that was a fun little, which fucking decade was it?
All right, guys, I'm going to have to jump off. Sean is going to be downstairs to pick me up in a second. So I will see you.
What are you doing?
He took the kids to go swimming at one of the boys' house, but now I have to go to Home Depot to get a new faucet for my kitchen.
Ooh, oh no.
And if they come up, they're not going to want to leave the kids, so I got to meet them downstairs.
Oh, I know. All right. Bye, babe.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have fun, Anna.
I almost fucking hit end broadcast.
Girl, get out of here.
I'm telling you. It's just natural. It's a big red button. Okay, bye.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Look at her. She thought about it too, I think.
Oh yeah, she definitely thought about
She
it.
thought about it. She's like, I think I'm gonna do it.
Like, y'all can't continue without me.
No, right? She's like, no, we're done here. We're done.
Yeah.
Hey, Chirp, I didn't see you had piped in back there, but you got it right. 50s back in the back there. All right. Anyways, okay, so I think we can call it for tonight. As usual, our crazy schedule is in the group and posted no matter which device or book or whatever you're reading on. All of the different schedules are there. So shouldn't be too difficult to figure out where to stop for next week. Hopefully. But anyways, thank you two for hopping on. It was nice to see your face.
Yes. Good to see you guys too.
And a little mini me face.
Yeah, you know.
So sweet. Oh my goodness.
Once school starts back, she won't be joining us because it'll be too late in the
She'll be
evening.
pooped. Yeah. Oh, gotta love it. You have to. You have to stay up late. It's summer.
Yeah, it's summer. I'm like, do what you want, kid.
See, my kids are homeschooled, so they don't realize that there is a difference, and they still go to bed at 8 every night, no matter what. Like, except once in a while, we do like a movie night, but that's it. So, oh, Lucas said to tell his friend hi.
Oh, I will.
Oh my
I'll
god.
tell.
I may have listened a bit ahead. Well, there you go.
I did last week.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's hard when you have to stop like halfway through a chapter. So in the audio. But anyways, all right, ladies, we will see you all next week. Have a good night, bitches.
Bye.
Right.
Bye.